I've had a lot of faith conversations with people from all walks of life, whether it was on an airplane, whether it was on a bus, whether it was to someone that didn't believe in God or of a different faith altogether. And I have failed miserably at trying to share what I believe with them. And I have come to realize the best way for us to try and share our faith with others is sadly often the last thing that we try. And I think there's a lot of really well-intentioned people that long for others to know the fullness of truth, that long for others, especially when they see somebody who's hurting and somebody who's struggling, and they just want for them to know Jesus, or they want for them to understand a particular theology, the truth of the scriptures, the truths of our faith, and they want to try and explain that to the other people. And I don't know about you, but there's been so many times in my life when I've attempted to try and share those truths with them when it just was completely ineffective. Now, sometimes people's hearts are hardened. Sometimes people are set in their ways. They're closed off in their mind because of their environment, because of what they've been taught in their upbringing, and for whatever reason, only God knows where people's hearts and minds are at. I can only tell you from my own experience that so often many arguments are about winning a battle rather than honestly and sincerely journeying along with somebody else to lead them to the fullness of truth. At the end of the day, our faith is not just a collection of theologies. It's not just some ideology or some worldview. It's not just some philosophy. Our faith is real, is incarnate with the person of Jesus Christ, and that faith is transformative. I think so often we do apologetics injustice when we leave it at merely information, because Jesus Christ is a person and a relationship to be had, not just a collection of theologies to understand and comprehend. All of that stuff is good and that is important for us, but first we need to have an open and a seeking heart. We need to be seeking after God, not just for the sake of the other person we're talking with, but for ourselves. We need to make sure that we are not allowing our hearts to be hardened, allowing our hearts to be led closer to the fullness of truth, which is only found in Jesus Christ. There's one simple way that we can show others what we believe. Just give them a reason to believe that it's real. See, we believe in a God who by His grace has come into our lives and changed and transformed us so that we are not the same person that we were yesterday as we are today, as He changes and transforms our heart. And if we really believe this to be true, if we really believe the theology and the philosophy and all of the elements of our faith, then we give them a reason to demonstrate that this faith is transformative, that we are different because of God's grace. And here's the thing, is that if we are lacking in demonstrating to them that our faith has changed us in a profound way, then why would they believe us? Think about it. Why would somebody want to become a Christian or want to become a Catholic or go to this particular theology? Why on earth would they ever want to choose to do that if we haven't demonstrated that it is transformative? Let's give them a reason to believe through virtue, through holiness, living out evidence that the Holy Spirit is at work in our lives through the fruits of the Spirit, through patience and love and generosity, through gentleness. Let's give them a reason to believe that what we think about God is true, because it has changed us and it has transformed us, and we are not the same as we were yesterday as we are today by God's grace. If we truly believe the sacraments are real, if we truly believe that Christ instituted a church and that we receive His grace and that we can be changed and transformed by it, then let's live Peter's example to us to always be ready to give a defense to anyone who asks us to give an account of the hope that is in us, but do it with gentleness and reverence. Let's show the world that we are changed by God's grace, that we really believe this to be true because we have seen a transformation in our own lives. See, there's a reason why the world was drawn to figures like Mother Teresa and the great heroic saints that have gone before us, because they were different. By God's grace, they showed the world that what we profess to believe is true. If you're looking for a way to share your faith with other people that is effective, then give them a reason to believe that it's true.